Hello and welcome to Chump Change episode 14. We have a wonderful show lined up for you today. Today we're going to talk about my thoughts on the Super Mario Bros. Movie and the expectations versus reality of it, along with the Nocebo Effect. We are also going to be talking a little bit about poor customer experiences, how Pree and I feel about it as consumers and as providers of the experience. We're also going to be talking about ignorance and is it bliss? And we have a little bit more to talk about the Big Chumps store. All right. So, how you doing today, Pree? Before I start.
Pretty good, buddy. How are you?
I've had a pretty productive morning. We talked a little bit about it in the YCS episode. What do you call it again? Your clock thing? Your internal clock?
Oh, the circadian rhythm.
Yeah, so I wake up at 6 a.m. every day since the trip.
Wonderful.
It's not wonderful because usually I go to bed at 1 or 2 still. So despite me going to bed at the same time, I wake up earlier now. It sucks.
You know, you wake up early, things are open. You wake up late, things close early.
Yeah, now I just need to make sure my body wants to actually get up at 6 o'clock. That's the next step.
Yeah, that's true.
But I did wake up today. It's my day off from my regular job, and I got a lot done so far today.
Hey, man, when I wake up in the morning, I go, all right, another day.
Another day, another dime.
Exactly.
All right. So, Super Mario Bros. Movie. Let me quote my Twitter because I thought my initial tweet about it was pretty funny. I said, "The silly Wahoo Man movie was good." That's how I summarize it. I thought it was cute, fun. Definitely shows that it's an Illumination picture, and Nintendo movie, just because it was very family friendly. The biggest thing that I was scared about going into it was Chris Pratt's performance, just because the entire internet was like, "This just sounds like Chris Pratt. This is the Chris Pratt movie, not the Mario movie." So I was interested to see how it played out. I was very, very surprised at how well it turned out. Not to say that Chris Pratt is a bad actor by any means, just the way that it stuck was more pleasant to the eyes and ears than I anticipated.
Was the movie what you expected?
Yes. Do we care about spoilers? Spoiler warning?
How long has the movie been out?
It came out like a couple days ago, I think.
I mean, I'm not watching the movie, so go ahead and say spoiler warning here.
All right, I will timestamp it, or I'll do like a chapter thing on YouTube as well. This is your official spoiler warning for the Super Mario Bros. Movie. So, at the beginning of the movie, they kind of play it off because I think I showed you there was a fake commercial they did for Super Mario Bros. Plumbing.
I didn't watch that. I'm not gonna lie with you.
I thought I showed it to you. I might not have, but they did like a fake like 80s or 90s commercial, and in it there is very played up Italian accents from Charlie Day and Chris Pratt for Mario and Luigi. But then they transition back into like pseudo normal voices for them. But once you get to that part, it's like, okay, actually the voices that they're doing are natural for the way these guys are acting, like very Americanized Italian men. And I guess they're supposed to be younger, like just the way that they talk and act, it's played off as like they're younger people.
So do you think this is the like English dub versus Japanese dub versus Italian dub?
I no, just because I think that was the whole idea. Like the original voice actor for Mario is in the movie. He actually says a line right after that. He's like, "I think it's a perfect woohoo," and I thought that was cute. I thought that was really cute and like funny. It's like, oh, okay, you gave him his cameo because that's actually Mario. But I definitely think it was played up for laughs. Because even like there's a scene where they go and they meet the Mario Bros. Family, and very like very stereotypical Italian family, just the way they're all interacting and talking to each other. So the dynamic between them and their family is funny because it's like, and what's up with those fake accents? And I'm like, okay, so they're actually just playing it for laughs.
Hey man, it sucks not being the target audience anymore, huh?
Yeah, I saw a lot of memes about that too. It's like, it's okay, kiddo. It wasn't made for you. I'm like, oh, man.
Man, I got bullied right there.
No, I think I'm still the target audience just because we briefly talked about it a while back where the way that we feel about certain things being a professional in the field and like being a consumer in the field only. So the fact that I do a little bit slash I learned a lot about animation in school and just like the production side of it was very much you know what, I appreciate this for what it is and I think it's funny. As with the thought this is a family movie and it's aimed towards the younger demographic, I can deal with this. This is fun. Because I'd be a liar if I said I didn't have fun watching this.
So I have to ask, right? So my favorite guy is the guy that goes. Was he in the movie?
Oh, the thwomp? No,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't recall any thwomps.
You didn't hear any.
Yeah, no, I don't recall any of those guys. There is
that's my favorite part of the game.
The only thing that actually like truly bothered me about the Super Mario Bros. Movie was the entire plot thread of the movie was not even Bowser kidnapped Peach, because I imagine this was played up to be very woke and like girl power. Like, oh, she's not just a damsel in distress, she's a part of the action.
Oh.
But so yeah, she fights. Like Peach fights. She gets in there. But the way that they played it is Bowser gets like unlimited power essentially. But he has like a FUB crush on Peach. So he's like, hey, you're going to marry me or I'm going to destroy the world.
Well, don't say FUB like that. I would say stalker, right?
Both. Poor Kayla's nose.
Parasocial relationship? Is that the correct term?
Not even parasocial relationship. Parasocial relationship if Pokimane directly told you I don't like you and I have no interest in you.
You telling me that Peach didn't tell that to Bowser?
She did. So that's why I'm like, we're skewing the line of you make a good point. We're going into FUB/stalker territory.
Yeah.
I just thought it was very weird because the whole driving force of the movie is the fact that he wants to marry her. Whereas like original games and stuff, it very much harps to the most recent Mario game that came out, like a few years ago on the Switch. Because like
you have to give me more insight.
Because the whole plot thread there was Bowser kidnapped Peach to marry him, but this skews more of like the creepy line. That was the only thing that I had an issue with. But like,
they can't put that in Hollywood.
What?
They can't put kidnapping and then, just kidnapping in general.
Oh yeah, no, I think mass terrorism and saying, hey, I'm gonna kill your friend if you don't marry me is much better. I think that's much better, more reasonable.
Right.
But yeah, besides that, it wasn't like aggressively creepy all the time, except for this part where he's like having a fake conversation. Then it was just cringy. But
is it one of those like they're talking to themselves or like talking to like Peach's picture on the wall?
He dressed up one of his minions as Peach, and he was like proposing to fake Peach.
Bro, that's one of my favorite things in movies where like it's the guy has a shrine of the person that they like.
Yeah.
It looks so scary or like it looks so weird, but I love it.
Like definitely on the creepy side, but skewing towards more like cringy and tolerable.
Yeah.
So yeah, that like the entire movie hinges on this Bowser crush on Peach. But besides that part, like it was goofy fun. I enjoyed it a lot. And Jack Black's performance as Bowser was badass.
Does Bowser actually talk in the game or any other time?
He does, but none of the Mario cast was like dialogue voice acted. It was normally like ugh, wah, like noises.
Yeah.
So it was really cool
Yeah.
it was really, or I guess technically the Mario voice actor did like lines for certain things, but everyone else in the Mario universe has been like low level dialogue, or if at all.
Oh, I got a question.
Yo.
So you and Water Bottle Man make
Mhm.
really good Toad impressions. Was it part of the movie?
It wasn't like an aggressive like ah, but I think it was Key of Key and Peele. Uh he did a pretty good like performance for Toad. It just wasn't like the traditional what you expect from a Toad voice.
Could we hear one of your Toad impressions?
I'll save it for a video. I actually have a video I want to do about that.
All right, fair enough.
Remember we have a cover album we have to record. I gotta save the.
How did I forget?
I have to save the A grade material for other content. But yeah, besides that, like I could very clearly hear Chris Pratt in the performance, but it wasn't like, oh, this is just Chris Pratt. Like I actually got immersed in the movie enough to be like, oh, this is just like, Mario. This is just how he sounds. There was a lot of things that made me happy though, like transitions into scenes. One of the most like iconic things from like Super Mario 64 was like the dun 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 dun, dun for Peach's Castle. And when they showcase that in like a landscape shot, it's like a very royal like orchestral da da da. And I'm like, okay, that's a really cool music cue. Like in my tweet, I do say there's a lot of music cues that are Easter eggs that if you don't play Mario actively, you just be like, oh, that's a really cool soundtrack. But I've literally played every Mario game, and that's something that like stood out to me. I was like, oh my god, that's so good. Like the soundtracks of almost every video game I play usually end up in my Spotify. So hearing that put into a cinematic soundtrack was really cool.
You said the soundtrack goes into your Spotify. I don't know if I like hearing the boss music and being traumatized.
Hearing the boss music. I never thought Mario boss music was that intrusive. I always thought like some of them are sillier or like goofier. Maybe like Super Mario 64. But also
Maybe
you can't say
the JRPGs I play. Yeah.
I was gonna say you can't say that when Virgil's theme literally goes crazy.
But Virgil's a bad guy, and then bro, it's the meme where when you fight him as the boss,
yeah,
when you unlock him as a playable character.
Yeah, no, I think like if I really enjoyed a game, the driving factor for me to give it like a 9 or 10 is usually the soundtrack. A really good soundtrack is what separates a game from an 8 and a 9 and 10 for me.
For me, is your camera good? Like your camera position and like, can I rotate the camera? Do I need to rotate the camera? If your camera doesn't track well, I don't want to play your game.
Okay, you like the DMC series. I'm not gonna listen to that from you.
I absolutely hate the cameras in DMC sometimes.
But you still like the games. It's not that much of a driving factor for bad or good.
It's not one of my top listed games ever played. I like the game though.
Okay, fair enough.
Remember, my favorite games are JRPG turn-based games.
Yeah, I'm really the JRPG you showed me when we lived together. I really want to play that on the channel too.
Really dope game.
Yeah, I like it because there's a pinwheel. But before we go on a tangent, Super Mario movie, really good, a lot of fun. If you are a big movie person, kind of rough in terms of the pacing, but if you're just there to watch an animation and have fun, Very good movie. Definitely recommend. It's worth time, especially if you have like younger siblings or kids. Just go watch it.
Did you take your little brother, by the way?
I didn't. I actually that was a solo adventure for me because everyone was busy, unfortunately.
Oh.
Yeah, my little brother had to watch it on Easter with my mother though.
Wait, so even your girlfriend didn't go?
She's at work.
What? Wait, so you were just in the movie theater by yourself? I would never. I don't know how you got the confidence for that.
Part of it was I was like, you know what, I don't, because I had extra topics I wanted to talk about, but you and I agreed to wait for a guest or for a different time to do some of those topics.
Mm.
So I was like, I kind of need something to talk about, so I just ran it because I had a free ticket too.
Oh, okay. One of those like AMC like rewards.
It was a comp. So you know the big movie theater near me.
Yeah,
So
it's
they
AMC,
actually
right?
no that's I don't think it's owned by anyone. I think Adam like does the ticketing online, but I think it's independently owned.
Hmm.
But I had a complimentary ticket from like a while ago where we had an issue there, and it was kind of just like all right, I guess I'll go. I got nothing better to do right now. So it's this or do nothing all night.
Good point. Good point.
So yeah, no, I definitely think it's worth going if you like Mario, if you like movies or music, and you're willing to just sit there and like take it for what it is. Go watch it. It's really good. My expectations were drastically exceeded than the what I was thinking I was gonna get. And speaking of expectations versus reality, I think Pree wants to talk about the nocebo effect.
Nocebo Effect. So, I wanted to bring it up because I was talking to someone, or I would say thinking about on how to do something, right? And then they gave their 2 cents, right?
Yeah,
And it was so the nocebo effect is basically you know that there's negative connotations to something, or if you believe it's gonna go wrong, it's gonna go way worse than wrong.
right.
Basically, I was like, you know what? I am really against it, but I'm down to run it because I know it's gonna fail. So I'm gonna give less effort than what I would normally would, right?
Yeah.
Are you that type of person?
I usually try to have a healthy dose of optimism. I guess internally, I know that there is a. I know that I think I told you when we were talking about it, prepping our topics for Chump Change, where essentially it's the opposite of optimism in the sense that if I think negatively, yeah, it's going to go wrong, right? There's no reason that me thinking negatively about anything is ever gonna make me in the mindset like, okay, this could be good, right? There's no you swing on negative reinforcement for yourself. Like the way that you feed your brain is absolutely how you're gonna affect the outcome. So I'd say, personally, I try and have a healthy dose of optimism, but take a little bit of that realism and sprinkle it on there.
Hey man, look. Here's what I would say to that. I like to believe that I'm a realist in life. It's hard. I'm like, whenever I take medication, right? I'm like, if I believe in Eastern medicine, this medicine is not gonna work. Or
Yeah,
the whole what's the signature select versus like the name brand.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like very very much the same way. I believe that this isn't gonna work as well as Advil.
yeah,
So I would personally buy the name brand, even though like compound ically, I guess that's the word. That's not a word,
yeah.
but compound ically, it's the same compound.
Chemically,
Nocebo,
chemically, it's the same stuff.
chemically compoundly.
Yeah,
But yeah, man. See, I just wanted to bring that up because I was trying to see where you were in terms of groups.
yeah.
I personally cannot work in a group. I like to take people's ideas and then be like, okay, well, maybe that will alter the way I would do something.
Mm.
But
It's weird, right? Because I mean, you know this. I work in a team actively every day. Or when we're scheduled to be there at the same time. I do have a team I work with. Um, and something that me and this one specific team member talk about is how I'll usually take more optimistic and outside the box approaches to things, because usually if there's a hard set path for IT, it's either someone's already taken that troubleshooting route and the outcome desired was not achieved, or there's something that makes it so the troubleshooting path is not viable, you know? So something that like we have to go to our desks at our office, like our actual building, to like unlock an internet port or reconfigure it to accept like a brand new computer, phone, or sales terminal we plug in, right? Because once you plug in a new device, the switch will lock as a security measure. And there's been situations where us as IT techs are able to remote connect to any computer in the park. And I have remote connected into our phones and our computers to give us access to do it while we're out in the field. Because my thing is, I don't like backtracking a lot when I'm working. It's like RPGs, right? You don't want to go turn in a quest, get a new quest, and like, oh hey, I need you to go back to the place you just were. I hate that. When you absolutely could have done, like, Professor Oak, I could have picked up your parcel and killed that guy at the same time. It would have been done already.
You know, I feel like a lot of games, they do that just to extend the time of their game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, padding is definitely a thing, but I absolutely don't like backtracking, so that's one of the situations where it's like, okay, how can I circumvent my requirement to travel back to my office to do this thing the right way when I can do it the right way in an unorthodox manner, correct? Like, there's that outside the box motion. And now, since I've been doing stuff like that in my team, the teammate that I talked about with it, he is more inclined to think beyond the scope of like the little piece of paper, like our guides. He does more thinking outside the box now, and he's like, yeah, you know, like you get stuff done because you do things a different way, and now he does it too.
All right, so what I heard was, let me show you how I do it.
Well, because that's what you said, right? Like,
this is how they teach you. This is how they teach you. This is how I do it.
But it's not specifically
don't do this if the manager's there. But that's how I do it.
No, it's not. It's not that. I did do that at Safeway. I absolutely do not do that at my current job. It's very much hey, I'm still gonna follow the rules and do things the way that they need to be done. But how can I make it? How can I quality of life this chore? So that's a way of thinking. Like, how do I make this process easier? And then, because that's not a one size fits all question, it requires the people who work with me to also think the same way. Because you were like, you like to take people's ideas and equip them to your tool belt so you can do the task assigned, right?
Well, see, the question was more so, in a group, do you think it's everyone works together or everyone works individually?
No, I think it's very much everyone works together, but everyone works on one task. You can divide and conquer the different parts of the same task, or you can all work together on the same thing and add different ideas to the same task.
Where do you draw the line? Like, you have two conflicting ideas. Both work. How do you choose?
Honestly, my answer
on that one. I'll go ahead and give you a second.
No. I got it. Because I was thinking of a specific situation, right? My answer is always going to be the path of least resistance. There's a situation where we had to go fix a phone, right?
Yeah.
Buddy wanted to just replace the entire phone outright. I knew the phone still worked. I was positive because the phone was ringing still. It was connected to the internet. I knew the phone worked. I wanted to just replace the wire from the phone to the handset. So I said, "Hey, I'm pretty sure it's this. I want to go replace this part only." He wanted to reconfigure an entire new phone, which is a lot more steps, but it does the same job at the end of the day. And you can troubleshoot what was wrong with the first phone later. I said, "Hey, it's easier to just go test this wire because we are 90% sure that this is the problem." I wanted to do that because it was the path of least resistance. Ultimately, had he gone and done the thing his way, it would have been done regardless. The problem would have been solved. But I like to work smarter, not harder. So therefore, I'm required to always do the path of least resistance.
All right. So there's this one thing that I always listen to or I always think about. So you're chopping down a tree.
Yes.
You have 5 hours to chop down a tree. What do?
A singular tree?
Just one tree. But you got your normal hand axe.
Just hand axe, Minecraft hand axe.
Yep.
Just chop down the tree.
See, so with the thing I read a long time ago, they said I would spend the first 2 hours or 3 hours sharpening the axe, and then the tree goes down right there. Instead of spending 5 hours just chopping away at the tree.
See, I was inclined to ask, like, are there more factors? Like, am I allowed multiple steps here, or is it as simple as just chop down the tree? But also,
see, very much a how do you think about that question?
Yeah. Because for me, that's more of trial and error. I know nothing about the technique or anything about chopping down trees. All I know is axe go burr if you hit something really hard. Right? But if you said...
best believe I'm going to be a sharpening stone and I'm going to look at how to chop down a tree on YouTube,
Well, that's why I was like, okay, well, is that an option presented to me, or is it like... Because my initial question was going to be like, well, do I have an axe? Do I have a bandsaw, a chainsaw? Like, what? How am I chopping down this tree?
Yeah, that's why I said hand axe, yep.
Yeah. Because if it's Unga Bunga caveman, Lorenzo doesn't know how to chop down tree. If I see it's not working, eventually I'm gonna have to figure something else out. But also, I've never seen anyone use such a dull axe that they couldn't chop firewood or a tree down. So I'm inclined to believe that sharpening the axe is a part of the process.
Yeah, hey man, very much. I would rather sit here and plan.
Yeah.
Than to just go in, Save the headache from having to do the work twice.
I was gonna say the moral of the story is don't tell someone you can chop down a tree in 5 hours.
That too.
If that's your first tree, give yourself a little room.
Tying it back to the Nocebo Effect.
Yep.
Believe you can chop down the tree.
Yeah, believe it. You are the Hokage, or you are the next Hokage of tree chopping. Speaking of chopping down trees, and you were told to, that sounds like an experience, a customer experience. You want to talk about that?
Customer experiences. Did you hear my thwomp noise right there?
Oh, you're.
I thought I was just clearing my throat, but that's a
because Mario movie's on the mind now. So
go ahead, buddy.
So recently, or I guess recently and non-recently, a few months ago, I had commissioned something for Bad Moon. I commissioned a VTuber, like a bust up model, so she could start using a VTuber model, as I have been working on my ability to make her a full one. And in the time it took this person to complete this, there was several issues throughout the process, a very alarming lack of communication. When I finally got the product, I didn't even get the full product that I asked for, or it was broken, I should say. And I had also been able to create Moon an entire model from hand by then. Literally all I'm waiting on is one of my VTuber rigging friends to finish making the model animated. And my problem with this situation was that I've done commissions for people. I've never had a situation where even if I couldn't do something or it was going to take me longer, I wasn't actively communicating with someone. As a person in the space that does commission work for people, it's insane to me to think that, one, you could be busy enough that you don't communicate to people, and two, that you would just, like, you wouldn't find the time to do it at all. Like, this person, when they finally responded to, because I private messaged them on the site that I commissioned them from yesterday, they responded within an hour. And they were like, here it is. It's ready. Thanks for the patience. And my first thought was, well, I highly doubt that you just happened to finish this right now. Like this exact hour that I texted you. So it's crazy to me to think like, oh, I'm going to finish this art and I'm just going to sit on it for a week or a month, couple months, just because I already have your money. Like that sucks.
So because you're an artist, right? I do want to ask this question. You have acceptable work, and then you go above and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask about it, or if the customer asks about it, are you gonna give them the acceptable, or would you tell them to hold on and then go above and beyond?
I would. So the way that I've done it, these last several commissions I've done for people, I give them the best that I can give them in the moment, because you and I talk about this about me personally. Not everything I do art-wise is always 100%. Some days my 100% is more like 50%. So I give them everything I can give them for the job while I'm doing it. But before I say, hey, the job is done, take what I gave you, I say, hey, is there anything that you need me to improve on before I leave? Because once I'm done with this, I'm done with it. I'm going to move on.
Makes sense.
So I always give people the option, because I know there's a lot of people on like Fiverr and all these different like Twitter commission people. Like everyone's always like, all right, so the price that I'm charging you gives you 1 or 2 free revisions before it's done. If you ask me to redo the whole thing, okay, that's a bit unreasonable. Or if I'm 90% done and you ask me to redo the whole thing in a different pose or in a different color palette or whatever, that's a little unreasonable. Whatever. But the people that don't talk about revisions or changes at all, and they just give you whatever they spit out, that sucks. Why would you not, like, that you're providing a service? Like, it sucks too, because my main VTuber friend, they recommended me this person because they were like, oh, hey, you know, like, I've heard good things about this person. Their commissions for a bust up model and the art for it is only $100. I was like, oh, cool. I'm pretty busy right now. That would be worth my time and money to give. So for me to be recommended this person and know what their public social media is, the desire to be like, dude, this is the worst experience ever is so high, and I hate that feeling. Like I hate, because with a bad server, right, at a restaurant, what are you gonna do? Oh man, the Mr. Manager, like, this experience was really bad. You'll be compensated, or you'll get a discount. With an independent person, it's like you can warn the community, but then you're slandering someone, and that sucks too.
Hey man, I do believe in Yelp reviews, okay? Do you think that's, I mean, would you consider that slander though?
I would, just because, like, I have so much negative to say. There's no way that I can go on Twitter and at this person or tag their profile without making it seem like I'm attacking them. Like, I'm that dissatisfied with the work. And you saw the model. I still have complaints about it, and I was never asked once, like, hey, is this cool? Is there anything I can like fix for you real quick? It's very gappy communication, if communicated at all. And I was just spit something out, and I didn't even know if it was going to be fixed the first time I got it.
So there's the you get what you pay for. Do you think this falls into that as well?
I don't, just because the nature of what was asked for. Normally, you would be very communicative with people. It like if I just asked for some art, sure, right? Hey, I want to see Goku riding Kurama. Well, the guy's just gonna draw Kurama and then draw Goku and give me whatever they draw. But because this is such a personal thing, it's hard to articulate like, hey, this is your thing, but I'm just gonna give you whatever I want out of this thing. Like that's like it's very much I kind of want to agree with you too though, because like, yeah, the price point was cheap, but also like I'm happy with what I got for the most part in the end. The process it took to get here was awful. Because you saw the final product right before we started rolling, right? Like it looks good, it's fine.
It actually looks really good.
It just sucks that it was more of a headache, and it took more time out of my day over the last several months than I wanted it to in the first place, right? I couldn't just let this person go and do it and be confident I would get it back. Once this person took a couple months and didn't respond to me at all or say anything at all, that's when I knew, okay, I need to be on this person's ass now to make sure I get the thing I paid for.
You know, I do a lot of like I take my car to like the mechanic shop, right?
Yeah.
When it's objective, like, hey man, did you replace this or replace that? Yes, no, here's the money. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like when it becomes more subjective, like art, right? Let's say for cars, it would be like you take your car to Mako,
Yeah.
right? Mako paint shop. You know, for $500, you're not expecting like a good laydown. You know, like a pretty even layer of clear coat. You kind of just
Right.
expect it to just be shot on. You know. So do you think it's more of a like fine detail? Like I guess is what I'm trying to say. Do you think it's more fine detail, like perfect lay on,
My
with what you're like
my
upset about the art?
okay, so the product is upset itself, what I'm upset about. The only thing I'm
Yeah.
upset about is actually very serviceable, like very easy to service. I just wasn't given the file required to service it. I could do it. I could fix it myself. Well, that's not saying a lot. I could have done the whole thing myself if I wanted to. The whole point was I wanted to save my time.
And you paid the guy to do
Yeah.
that for you. Yeah.
Cuz so my only gripe with it is definitely a function / fine detail, right? I was saying that the movement of the model, because I tested it obviously before letting Moon know I had it, it's very stiff. And it's fine because like it blinks, it moves, it breathes. You know, as far as VTubers go, people will tune into her stream, twitch.tv/ Bad Moon XX. People are gonna tune into the stream and they're gonna be like, hey, this is a VTuber, right? Like, if my complaint was, oh, they didn't make it so the witch hat came off, or oh, she has an alternate costume and there's no button to switch it, like they didn't program it. That's frills. I don't need that. I don't care. Functionally, it does what I want it to. It just sucks that the thing it does it really poor. And even
Mm.
my VTuber buddy said the same thing because I sent the video I sent you earlier of the demo. I sent it to them too. And they're like, yeah, it's really stiff, but it looks really good. It's very cute. So functionally, it does what it needs to. It's like saying they didn't tighten your brakes all the way properly.
You know, I ain't gonna lie with you, man. That might be a bad comparison. If you don't tighten your brakes all the way, that means you die. You know what I mean?
No, because without precision brake tightening, right, the car can still brake. Can't it?
Sorry. So better thing to say
unless my thought process of what, like, I had to replace my brakes recently. My uncle was giving, like, he kept telling me I could press on the brake, and he kept adjusting something. I don't know if that's specific to my car, if it's...
So, bleeding the brakes. Yeah, bleeding the brakes is a little different. But the better way to say what you said would be torquing to spec. So, you could do, like, the 1/4 or quarter half turn, right?
Yeah.
Or you could use the tool, the torque wrench, for a specific number exact.
Yeah.
I think that's what you were trying to go for that car reference.
Yes. Just because you made the car reference, I wanted to... I didn't realize it was a bleeding the brake versus tightening the brake. I didn't... That's a me problem. I didn't do that part.
Just clarification.
I was the brake pusher, so that's a me fault. My bad. But yeah, no, like it's very much a, hey, this wasn't tuned to spec, or it wasn't tuned to perform at its best for what you gave me. Because the way that the movements in VTubers works is essentially, it's binary. You have 0, you have 1. You can tell the program where you want the movement to be when it hits 1. You can tell it where you want the movement to be when it's at 0. And then the rest of it is just the way that you track your face. That's on you. My 1-0 values are very jank and not refined. Like, there's no 0.5 refinement, no 0.8 refinement, 0.25 refinement, which means that the movements can be stiff, or they can be very like jerky. So that's something that, like, I would definitely have been, if they asked me, I would have been like, hey, can we smooth out this animation a little bit? It's a little stiff. Or can we up the parameter and I can adjust the values on the facial recognition software?
So for VTuber models, I just a question here. Is it like they have to redraw like each individual frame?
No, so it's almost like flash animating, which I know you know nothing about. Where I have different Photoshop layers, right? You tell the app how you want the Photoshop layer to move. So if you draw the booba, you can say, hey, when the body part leans left, booba needs to sway left, but then it needs to return to original form. So you have the jiggle physics. You're basically just saying, hey, I want you to move this layer in this way, based on how the camera operator moves, right? So if I say, hey, this for the audio listeners and I guess the YouTube listeners, I'm giving Pree a visual representation with my face. If I stretch out my eyelid like this, and we say that this is value 1, and this is my eye closes value 0, right? The VTuber model should be able to articulate, okay, when his eyes close, the VTuber model needs to close eye. When it's open, the VTuber model needs to open the same amount. It's little refinements that make the movement better and cleaner, that I don't need it to be perfect. I don't need it to look like VShojo Iron Mouse or HoloLive, whatever. But definitely something that's like, it's so easy for the person who has the files to fix. If they fixed it for me, that would have been awesome. Or if they offered to fix that for me, it would have been awesome. You know, if I get my glass at Olive Garden and there's a dishwasher markings or lipstick stain on my cup, I'm gonna ask for a new cup. But if you put it down and said, "Oh my God, I didn't notice that cup had lipstick mark on it. Let me change that for you real quick." It being offered versus me asking for the change, there's a huge difference in the customer service experience. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
So it's like, you offered me a service, you offered me very terrible service, and in the end, I felt like I lost more time and didn't get my money's worth.
Got to give them 4 stars on Yelp.
And I need to give them 0 stars. That's actually how I feel about this individual. I genuinely have been so frustrated throughout this entire process that I really do want to like at them on Twitter, or not even at them, just say their name on a Twitter post and be like, hey, here's this model that we got from so and so. Really good model, just the customer service was abysmal. But like I said, there's no way for me to feel like I can do that without slandering.
That's my favorite thing. So I love the Asian restaurants. They have really good food, really poor service.
I don't know. I haven't experienced that. I feel like a lot of places that you and I go together, it's usually pretty good. It's surprisingly, it's chains. Chains, I have really bad experiences when I'm with you.
Always chains. I hate chains.
Remember when we tried to go to BJ's?
I like
or Red Robin?
Or Red Robin. All of the above.
Little side story. We sat in a Red Robin with it was me, Pree, and Pree's girlfriend. We got seated within like what 10 minutes when they told us it was a 30-minute wait. And then we ended up sitting there for 40 minutes at the table without even being given drinks. The face that Pree had, he was so over it. I forget, we went to like a mom and pop shop diner after that. It was insane. I've never had that experience at a Red Robin before. And Pree was like, this is why I never go to Red Robin. I'm like, this is the first time that's ever happened to me. But yeah, it sucks too because you and I have this conversation one-on-one, like personally, about food service and retail because we both worked in it. It sucks to see that people don't want to provide service the way that they would expect service to be given to them. Like it's actually it sucks and it's confusing to me.
You know, I really hate to bring in we don't get paid enough. Like, yeah, I agree, but no, like do what you would expect out of this position,
Right.
you know?
Well, it's very hard to argue that you don't get compensated for it. I started off in a deli at Safeway in 2018. By the time I left the company, I was a shift supervisor. I ended up in that position within 2 years. And I didn't think I was going to stay at Safeway past year 1. I was planning on leaving. And I ended up transferring to different departments. I learned a lot of different skills, and I became a manager. It's what you put into the work that's what you get back. It's crazy to see it. It's crazy to see that in food service, especially because make the most out of your job, guys. Hey, I'm staring at the camera right now, but you don't see that, audience. If you work at McDonald's, I'm not telling you to go above and beyond. I'm not telling you to shine your customers' shoes. Do the best job that you can. Provide the best possible experience. You might not be compensated for it, but guess what? Feel good that you're just providing a good service. Feel good making other people feel good. Pause. That's my take. That's the take.
Pause.
Pause. Maybe pause. Potential pause.
Pause. Period.
Yeah, it sucks too because I haven't had a really bad commission experience in a very long time in terms of getting art from other people. This was a very bad experience, and that kind of reaffirmed me that if there's anything art related I need done, I'm probably going to do it myself, whether it's for Big Chumps, GarboArtist, or for my circle of people.
Bro, I hate that idea, but I love it. You know, it's like, if you want it done right, do it yourself.
Yeah, that's actually, I mean, that's why I went to school for animation and stuff. I wanted those kind of products. I didn't want to pay the prices at first, but I understand why certain people are very expensive now. It's very hard to find the kind of customer service and dedication that some people put into it. Those people who work for themselves they value their work higher because of how much work they put into it. If you're the grand Big Mac daddy of McDonald's in the entire county you live in, and you got to choose your wage, you're probably going to give yourself a reasonable wage because you make the best Big Mac ever, even though it's 5-6 ingredients. I don't know. I've always tried my hardest in my jobs. I feel like my customers were usually satisfied, and It sucks whenever I receive service and I see, not only do I receive bad service, I receive bad service and it looks like the person is still struggling. Don't ever give me 10% and look like you've been giving 200%. That's what really got you when we were at Red Robin. The host looked like he was sweating. That man looked pressed, and you were like, I haven't even got my freckled lemonade yet. This dude looks tired.
You know,
And before,
when he says host, right? He doesn't mean that. So we didn't have any servers come up to us. I don't know why, which is fine. Maybe servers are busy. Why did the host seat us?
Yeah. Also, I said that the host looked like he was pressed. I'm not disparaging anyone who might have already been, or like, he could have been at the tail end of his shift. If you're at the tail end of your shift and you're standing around doing nothing, the odds are you're probably not tired.
Let's say you are tired, right? And you're just standing there doing nothing.
Yep.
Be good at it. Be
yeah.
good. Make it seem like you don't even know that you're busy.
Yep.
Or know that you're standing there doing nothing.
Smile. Literally smile. Just sit, stand there, smile, do the bare minimum at that point. But like, be presentable.
At least fool me,
You don't have to fool yourself, but you have to fool me. Yeah, no, the BJ's person, because we went to BJ's then, we went to Red Robin, the BJ's person didn't even care. BJ's person looked like they hated their life and they wanted you to hate being there as much as they did.
I don't get that, bro. Like, I don't know why you would do that to someone else.
Well, why would you? Why?
Like, if you don't want to be there, that's fine.
Don't make me not want to be here.
Yeah, I'm like, I drove here, dude. I'm giving you a job.
I drove here to eat here. You drove here to come to work. I want to eat. You just have to put me at a table. That's your job.
It sucks that we're arguing, or we're not arguing. We're talking about hosts in specific.
Because that's usually
we didn't even get to see the rest of the staff.
Yeah, no, we that's usually where the experience stops for us if we ever leave a restaurant. We don't even get seated. Except the one time we got seated, but we didn't get helped. First time that's happened to us ever. Red Robin.
It was so crazy because the manager looked at us and still didn't help us.
Yeah. I forgot about that. See, I was on my phone. I was working on Big Chump stuff while we were there.
And then the mom and pop shop that we went to afterwards, the manager sat us. The manager got our drinks. The manager was willing to take our order.
Mm-hmm. Hey, manager was even willing to, like talk to us and give us the rundown on stuff or make some changes for us.
Tell us the specials.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Well, there was our rant on customer service.
I guess ignorance is bliss, huh, man?
So what do you think about that, man?
Ignorance being bliss?
Yep.
Depends on the circumstances. If there's usually an issue, I don't think ignorance is bliss at all. I think if there's a problem, I want to know about it.
So let's say, right? So specific case here. When you get charged fees, would you rather just have them hide it in the original price?
No.
So for example,
wait. So when you say hide it in the original price, like upcharge me $5 to pay for the fee versus, hey, we're gonna charge you a $5 fee on top of what you just paid.
Yeah. So let's say we have live music, right?
Yes.
I am gonna charge you $5 for the live music. On your receipt, I'm gonna put $5 live music fee.
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay with that, or would you rather have me disperse that into your meal, like $1 up on the drink, $1 up on the food?
I feel like it's still circumstantial. I think it depends. Like Chase, my personal bank, Chase, they charge an additional out of service, or out of, like, I forget what it's called. If you don't use a Chase ATM or authorized ATM, they charge you $5 on top of the service fee the ATM will already charge you. I do want to know about that. In your example, that sounds more like a theme park, right? Hey, we're having special Disney event. We're gonna provide a service that's extra, so we're gonna bump the prices of everything around, or you need to pay for an additional ticket to get in. I think I'm okay with paying the extra ticket. I would also understand if there was no extra ticket, but everything in that specific area was upcharged.
See, like
I'm okay
if you do,
either
if you
way.
don't, right?
Well, I'm personally okay either way, because as a person of the business world now, and also that works in like a theme park environment, I get that. That's something that does need to happen sometimes, right? So it's like I can swing both ways on that. I'm okay with both. I know a lot of people, like, I've blown a lot of people's minds with DoorDash. DoorDash does upcharge people's food prices, but they still charge a service fee, if not for the Dash Pass, which you're still paying some taxes on. That one blows my mind. Yeah, I mean, like, a $10 meal can turn into an $18 meal, and then you still pay taxes on it. It's crazy.
Like, I get it, but I'm like, man. So here's another one that we struggle with, or we had to come to the moral standard for. When you order a product online, are you more willing to click on the free shipping or have them pay it at a reduced price?
Yeah, with the exception of your Amazon Primers, right? Because technically you're paying for shipping regardless. You're paying for it via the Prime account, or you're paying for it through the actual shipping. I think that one's more of a like a pseudo psychology thing, where it's like, man, I have to pay this additional charge. I'll just buy the one that has free shipping, but it's a couple dollars more. Just so happens to be the same difference as paying for the shipping. It sucks because realistically, you'd actually want to pay for the shipping, because if that shipping offers tracking, whereas your non-Prime $30 item doesn't have tracking for the free shipping, I think you'd want to know where your thing is, right?
Honestly, right?
But like, I definitely think it's a weird pseudo psychology. I think that one is definitely where the ignorance is bliss, because your free shipper is just charging you the $5. Like, it's still a $25 product. They're just charging you more so they don't pay for shipping.
Crazy, man. Crazy what these people do to us, huh? Crazy what decisions that even the business owners have to choose,
Yeah. I definitely think, like, since you and I formed BCMG, there's a lot more stuff that we're privy to that we've had to think about, and like, hey, do we want to do it the way everyone else does it, or do we want to, like, innovate on the formula? And it's you and I,
or just not be douchebags.
Yeah, like, there's a lot of things that you and I pushed off because we're still trying to figure out the fine print,
Yeah.
But speaking of that, since we're close to the wrapping up mark, why don't we show them a little bit of what we've been deliberating on?
Alrighty, I'll go ahead and let you give them the lowdown.
All right, you guys are getting a little bit of the sausage being made live. We're gonna switch scenes here. Oh, that's time.is. I did not switch back my tab. All right.
And so for the YouTube viewers, right? This is what this is for?
Yes, this is for YouTube viewers. If you are listening right now, go watch the YouTube video, because what we're about to show is definitely a visual thing. We are showing off the BCMG store, or the Big Chumps store / website, which I said a couple episodes ago it would be released mid-April, late April. We're going to push it back another couple weeks because there's something that we want to figure out before we launch. But we did want to show you guys that we haven't been sitting on our hands. Like this is happening very soon. Do you want me to share? Are you looking at the website, or do you want me to share my screen with you?
Whatever you want to do, buddy.
Here, I'll go ahead and share screen, and you can just take a peek.
All right, I'm taking a peek with you.
So we have the Big Chump store. Right now, the Big Chump's website. Right now, it's a little bare bones. We didn't want to go too overboard with the front screen just because we want the focus of the website to be the store, as well as the ability to find our socials and ask questions about us. So for now, this is what it will look like. We'll add features and stuff if we think that we want to over time. The biggest thing is the store. Currently, we have 2 different lines of things coming out. Depending on how far we push this back, we might have a third thing if Pree wants to put that out. Prices
Absolutely not.
You want to wait for a separate thing for that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, right now we have 2 lines. I have a couple extra designs that are in the lab, curing. So maybe I'll put those in because they're related to these 2 lines. But this is what we're working with. We have a couple designs we wanted to put out. We have some stickers that we want to put out. Prices are pending just because we're trying to figure out a price that works for us and works for you guys. We don't want to, overwhelm anyone or overcharge, but there are some things that we need to still abide by legally and to make this not bankrupt us within a month. So yeah, this is what we have. And we didn't plan on doing any Big Chumps related merch, but we thought it'd be cool to have a mug with the Big Chumps logo on it.
I like that mug.
I really like that mug too. Can we talk about the cup, even though we're not making it yet?
Yep.
So we have Big Chumps cup. It will be hold on. I have the photo here somewhere. So we're making a Big Chumps pint glass, or we ordered some samples of it because we want to make it. And I think this is really cool just because it's something that I personally would use regardless if we make it or not. And I wanted to call it a pint of chump because I think that is a funny name. I don't think that it's particularly related to anything we've said or done yet, but I definitely think it's interesting.
Our restaurant's gonna be called the Chump Bucket, right?
Yeah, that's pretty good actually. I like the Chump Bucket. I guess it's not on this computer. I might have moved the files, but I'll put it up on the screen right here if I don't find it in the next 2 seconds. But yeah, we wanted to try this out. It's unfortunately not viable for us to produce with our third-party printing service. So this will be something that will take some time to develop on our own, but it's something that we definitely agreed. We like this more than the mug, so it's something that we want to produce. Although I think the mug is really cool though. I kind of want a color changing mug. I want to see if that's possible.
So when it heats up, the logo comes out?
Or right now it's white on black, right? Or black on white. What if it started out as white on black, and then when it got hot, it turned white with the original black logo?
Maybe something we look into. Yeah,
the vinyl itself is also color changing.
But
yeah, that's basically where we stand. The one I want to show off the most is my favorite. I really like this shirt. I really, really like this shirt. Oh yeah, look, we even have our name in the tag.
All right, man. Go ahead and describe to them what's on the shirt for the audio listeners.
Oh, yeah. This is definitely a video only thing. I'm sorry, guys. So, if I was to describe this logo, it is a very well-known Hispanic-esque restaurant logo. Very iconic. Almost with a bell of some sort of shape on it. But instead of the, one little bell ball inside of it, the bell bearing, whatever it's called, it has 2. And then it has some font underneath that says D's nuts. As if your nuts were hanging from the inside of the bell. If that wasn't a good descriptor, come watch the video, because this thing's really cool. We have the design on the left breast on the front of the shirt, and then we have the logo bigger on the back. I really like this shirt. I cannot understate how much I like this shirt.
Looks really good, I'm not gonna lie.
I think all of our shirts look really, really good. Definitely something I'm excited to launch. I'm excited to get the samples in our hands so we can, for ourselves, see how they came out. Because we do have a selection of different materials we can swap out if we want to. But yeah, I think that's it for the Big Chumps store. And I also think that might be it. Is that the topic list?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, it sounds like we made it to the end of the episode.
Alrighty, so if you liked this video, go ahead and leave us a like, comment, leave a comment if you enjoyed it. Tell us what you thought about it. Share it with your friends. Subscribe and hit the bell icon just like D's nuts. And we will catch you in the next episode.
Later.